Hey, comic book fans, my nerdy friends, and my geeky padres, what's going on? I'm back this week, and I'm back to normal, doing my normal gig. Doing my lightning round reviews right after I read my books, so I don't forget anything that I'm supposed to say about it and how I feel about it. And so here we go. All right, first book I read this week was Thor: God of Thunder, issue 15. This book has turned very much into Lord of the Rings, but without a ring. I'm not sure how I'm feeling about it. Like, I feel there's humorous parts in it. There's great fighting. It just feels like I know what's going to happen next, and I don't really like that feeling when I read comic books. I like to be surprised, A certain amount of like preemptive thinking is fine, but this is just kind of it's like you knew they weren't going to get along together, and then you knew Thor was going to do something to bring them all together, and then you knew they were going to go into battle, and then I don't know. I mean, it's all right. I'll stick with it just because if I don't, Frank will get pissed. But I mean, it's still good. The art's still fantastic. The storyline is just meh right now. It's just all right as far as I'm concerned. But it was decent. I wish it was $2.99 instead of $3.99 though. That's for sure. But it was still all right. So yeah, that's Thor: God of Thunder. All right, and next I read Daredevil issue 19. This is the end of the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly story arc, and for anyone who has been like down on Deadpool, who doesn't like Deadpool, give this story arc a shot. These 5 issues have been tremendous. I think, personally, what they did with the story arc is magic. The way they combined the action, the humor, and the serious emotional feelings in this story arc was just amazing. The way this wraps up is done really well. It makes you think quite a bit, and then it goes into what I'm guessing is the next story arc on the last couple pages, which I don't know if it's going to be as good as this. I'm guessing it probably isn't, because this was just fantastic, but I'm hoping that they stay kind of in this vein of a little more serious of storylines mixed with some good humor and action. But this team up of Deadpool and Wolverine and Captain America was amazing. There was not one issue that went by that I was upset with it, where I thought there was too much humor, where I thought there was just too much just killing, where I thought there was, too much seriousness. It was just done perfectly, just perfectly. If you get a chance, go pick up these last 5 issues, and I promise you won't be, you won't be disappointed. It was just fantastic. Really, really good. Really good. All right, next issue I read was Constantine, issue number 8. this issue picks up where at the end of 7, Sargon the sorceress kind of, I wouldn't say she had Constantine like trapped, but they were lovers, and Mr. E kind of showed up, so it felt like a trap. What happens in this book kind of was a bit surprising to me. Like, I mean, it kind of was, but it kind of wasn't. I thought it was and I'm not going to get into it. I don't want to spoil anything. But where the storyline is going, really solidified why I liked this book. But it got to that point and had a few more pages left, and then I got confused a little bit. It's just, it was a weird last couple pages. Because it still said that it still had like the Trinity War logo at the bottom, because it had to do with Trinity War. And then it had Forever Evil as well on the bottom, and that kind of slightly confused me. But I do like John Constantine. I like his character. I like the way he thinks. I like the way that this is written. The art was slightly confusing at times in the fight scene. But overall, I think this was a really, really solid issue. I'm curious to see where they plan on going with this. I kind of feel like when they were writing the Trinity War and Forever Evil, even though they seemed to kind of center around Constantine, they didn't take this book into consideration, this title into consideration, and it's kind of just built, it's just kind of built around those two events, but not very well. I don't know. It was, like I said, the ending was kind of slightly confusing to me. But it was still a pretty good issue up until that point. I really, really liked it. But yeah, Constantine, I'm actually really, really enjoying this title. Very much so. Alright, and next was Coffin Hill issue 2. Eve goes back to the house in which she grew up. Excuse me. We get a little more backstory as far as her family history with Coffin Hill and with the witchcraft side of her family. Her friend from the past, Nate, who was with a group of her friends that went into the woods and got whatever happened to them, turns out to be the police chief of Coffin Hill now, which is kind of funny because she was also a police officer. But Nate is in the middle of an investigation of 2 other kids that went missing in the woods where 2 of their friends went missing in the past. We get a couple glimpses of the past as far as when Eve ran off, and a glimpse of her and her friends in the woods back when what happened. It's still really good. It's becoming more of like kind of a detective story type with a witchcraft twist to it. I've been liking it. I like it a lot. It's starting the story's starting to flesh out a little bit, and we're beginning to see where the story is taking us, where these characters are going, and I I'm in for it. I like it. I'm ready for the ride. This was really cool. I like the art in it. The only thing that bothered me in this issue was Nate's facial hair. It looked really weird, and then he had like this dirt on his nose. I don't know. His face was really strange in this. I didn't really get it, but I like where this is going so far. Really enjoying this book. If you haven't picked it up, give it a shot. Vertigo is doing some really great stuff right now, and this book is no exception. Fantastic. Alright, so next was Harbinger issue 18, and I go through the same thing every single time I review a Harbinger book, and I say, this is a good story, but I don't know how to explain it to you without ruining anything or even trying to remotely come up with how the story is working. I've told you before that everybody is inside everybody's head, and they're being regulated by the main villain, Harada, by his people who keep the renegades in a dream state. They're all inside Torque's dream world, which is pretty much just monster trucks, half-naked chicks, and metal. At least Torque and the three girls are Chris, Faith, and God, I can't remember her name. The fire chick. They're all inside his dream world, and trying to break out of it, I guess. Peter, the main protagonist, is in his own dream world where Harada himself is trying to regulate Peter's perfect day over and over again, it seems. At the end of this issue, everything seems to be falling apart as far as Harada's plans, and that's good for the Renegades. I'm curious to see what happens, since Harada seems to be going into a mind squall. Apparently, if he doesn't rest, like have a full day's rest of like every month, he just goes nuts. He's been without sleep for 40 days, and it's about to go down. So, curious to see what the next issue is going to be like. Still enjoying this book. It's still kind of just freaking crazy, though. So, this would not be a good jumping on point for it. If you want to go back and read the first arc of Harbinger, it was fantastic. Inside this issue was an advertisement for all of the Valiant first trades being $9.99. So that'd be a good place to start. Pick that up, $10. I think the first 6 issues, 5 or 6, was fantastic, and you can try and kind of get caught up with this. If you want, you can kind of skip the Harbinger War stuff. I didn't really like it that much, but where Harbinger has been going recently has been really pretty good. Curious to see what's going to happen next. Yeah, pretty good. Alright, and next was Superior Foes of Spider-Man, issue 5. This is just a fun book. It has been since the first issue. I know at first I was really skeptical of it because it had to do with Superior Spider-Man. But it's fantastic. The parts where Boomerang is narrating what's going on, or talking to himself, is just hilarious. The way the story is going is fantastic. The very beginning of this issue really kind of had me like wondering if this was going to be a funny issue or not, because it was kind of dark and serious. But in the end, it ended up being kind of funny. But I love this title. It's super good. It gives me the fun part of Spider-Man in this book, without having Spider-Man in it. Fantastic job. I really like this story. If you guys aren't picking it up, I really think you should. Unfortunately, you'd probably want to start at issue 1. It's only 5 issues in, so that's not that hard to come across. But having to go pick up 5 issues could be daunting, I suppose. But it's worth it. Really funny, really funny book. I'm enjoying it. It's along the same lines as like FF for me. Just a good, fun read. Yeah, I'm loving this book. Really good.
All right, so I just got done reading Walking Dead 116, which is kind of really the beginning of the all-out war. I mean, I know the last issue was supposed to be the very beginning, but it was just kind of a setup. This one is where the action starts, and it was phenomenal. Rick, as a leader, is just fantastic, and the plan he's come up with is pretty smart. The art in this book is great. There's two-page splash pages in this book that just look amazing, like really amazing. I'm so glad I'm caught up and current with this title right now as All Out War begins, and I'm just stoked about it. It's such a good book, and I'm really hoping that it double ships this month, because that just made me want more. That issue right there, 116. So yeah, phenomenal book. All right, so I just got finished reading the last issue I had this week, which was Manifest Destiny, issue number 1, and holy crap. I instantly love this book. I'm going to email my shop right now and get it put on my pull list. The story behind it is fantastic. Lewis and Clark, trekking our great nation in its infancy, and under orders from President Jefferson to dispatch monsters that lay in the wilderness. So they have their crew of enlisted volunteers and a few unsavory characters, saved from the stocks and prison, and it's just a great story. I already love it. Another thing that was fantastic about it was the art. The art in this book was superb. There is one panel of an orchid that struck me as just beautiful. It's gorgeous. There's a couple other splash pages in here that are just breathtaking. Fantastic. This is just a fantastic book. Great first issue. I'm very excited to see what happens next. And the cover of issue 2 that they showed in the back of this issue looks amazing. Really amazing. Fantastic book. If you didn't pick it up, do yourself a favor and go pick it up. It's at Image number 1, $2.99, and well worth it. I really enjoyed this book. It was really fantastic.
All right, so that's it for this week's Lightning Round reviews. I was going to go back to my shop and try and pick up Avengers Arena 17, because I guess that came out this week too, and I totally forgot. But I think I'm just going to wait until next week and just tag it on to my list for next week. Also thinking about picking up Wraith. A lot of people picked that up, and I didn't realize it was Joe Hill book. So I might pick that up as well. It all kind of depends on what my list is like for next week. But thanks for watching. Again, thanks for all the support, everybody, and continued support. Really means a lot to me. thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed your books, and I hope you enjoyed this review of my books. And I'll see you Sunday at noon for Sunday brunch, because we'll be doing that. And I believe the rest of the 4 guys are in for it, I think. I'll have to double check with Nate, but I'm pretty sure he'll be good for it. Unless he's with his girlfriend. So we'll figure that out, and we'll see you guys on Sunday. Have a good one. Bye.